that? What do I look like? Hello, my name is Dr. Susima Napoku. Welcome back to my channel. I am a 2022 bride. I've been married for almost a year. It's coming up to a year very soon, September. Oh my gosh. And I feel like I'm still decompressing from that whole experience. It was a whole lot. Very beautiful, but it was a whole lot. And I just want to share some of the things that I learned along the way. Just to encourage bride-to-bees and just to make bride-to-bees more aware of what to prepare for. So weddings are a celebration of love. They are just this beautiful, beautiful occasion where, you know, everybody is coming together to rally on the love that the two individuals share for each other. And honestly, there is just this real mystical and mystery to the whole love experience. For someone to come across someone that they feel like shares the same value system as them, shares the same faith with them, that they're physically attracted to, that they like, that they love and are committed to doing a whole life with them and choosing to do life with them, it doesn't happen every day. It's not easy to come across the person that you feel like, you know, I could really do life with you, and I'm gonna make that choice and that commitment to really have you hold and shape my destiny. It don't come across every day. And so there is that element of weddings that are just so high stake as a result, because it's very sacred. People are making vows of true commitment. There is a joining of family. There's a real symbolism of unity and oneness. And so I say that to preface that weddings are a high stake occasion in every sense of the word. And that's why some of the stresses can come into play. But what I will say, your number one priority as a bride-to-be is to prioritize the marriage. You are a bride for a day, you are a wife for a lifetime. So you will overstress yourself, overstimulate yourself, break down friendships, burn bridges, if you lose sight of what it is you are actually preparing for. It is truly a marriage. It is truly a marriage. And yes, we have the bridezilla culture, and you know, I'm just particular, I'm a perfectionist and I like the flowers to look this way. Always come back to, what is this day truly about? There is a marriage. There is a marriage that I'm preparing for. So when certain things are becoming stressful, I am getting married. I am committed to my partner. I love my partner, and that is what I'm building upon. We do not need to be exerting energy towards things that place no bearing on our actual marriage. It is very, very concerning. Sometimes we can get so wrapped up in the wedding experience that we actually forget we are planning. We're setting our foundations for a marriage, and the wedding planning process will help you cultivate those skills if you are effective and you are mindful about what your actual objectives are. So prioritize your marriage. You have to make the right investment. What are you investing in? Seeking mentors. If you are a generational curse breaker, and you have not seen love in your home, you haven't seen marriage in your family line, you need to seek out for mentors who have successfully and happily been married for a long period of time. Go into their home with your partner, seek for their advice and their counsel. Learn some of the things that they're doing to help build upon their marriage. Get different perspectives, right? Begin to educate yourself on marriage. In Titus chapter 2 verses 4 to 8, it says, you know, the older women teach the younger women to love their husbands, to look after their home. Get your counsel, seek your wise counsel, educate yourself on marriage, get books, educational books, podcasts. You and your partner should maybe doing a devotional together on marriage, his needs, her needs, the meaning of marriage. Educate yourself. Be building on your foundation. Utilize your community. Utilize your community. For instance, simple things like sharing. I remember asking one of my family members, who is in desire of marriage, and I just pray marriage for her in the name of Jesus. And, in your single season, how are you actually preparing for marriage? What are some of the things that you're doing? And she highlighted to me that she actually has been intentional with her sharing. She doesn't like sharing. And so in her home, knowing that she's a sweet lover, she loves the dessert, she loves the chocolate, she loves the sweet. When she buys chocolate, when she buys any kind of sweet, she puts it in the fridge and she waits for everybody in the house to have a bit of that chocolate before she starts having a bit of the chocolate. That is the intentionality that we need to be cultivating. Be very intentional with the conversations that you're having with your partner. Seek premarital counseling. If there is a premarital counseling course in your church, if there's a premarital counseling offer online, go along with your partner. Go into this with that level of intentionality. Love isn't going to just carry us along the way. Our intentionality and our discipline towards growing and learning together is actually what helps build our home. It's actually what helps establish and build our home. Prayerfully ask for guidance. Be very prayerful in this season. Sometimes you're going to have to pray and fast with your partner, seeking God's guidance on why He has joined you together. Praying for God to show you what He has established in the heavens for the both of you to complete on the earth together. What does He want your home to look like? We need to be interceding and preparing spiritually and also practically, putting our finances and our resources together, strategizing, okay, you earn this, I earn this, how are we going to put our money together? Having the very hard and serious conversations when it comes to conflict. What's our conflict style? What is our love languages? If we're preparing towards getting married, we need to be having very, very intentional and serious conversations with our partner. If the cards aren't on the table and we're still holding them so tightly, but we're here bouncing around looking for dresses, something is completely wrong. Because what are we building towards? What are we actually working towards? Is it the day or is it the lifetime commitment? So it's so important. Also, another thing that I would say is essential in prioritizing the marriage is when the engagement has happened, when we're starting to even talk about the wedding, booking the honeymoon. I know some people are a bit 50-50, you don't necessarily need to. I would advise book the honeymoon. Once the expenses for the wedding come out into play on your budget sheet, you're going to realize very, very quickly that the wedding industry is a very expensive industry, and that cost the money that you said you're going to put aside for the honeymoon, if you don't just park that and buy that ticket ASAP, it won't come into fruition. And there's a real I'm passionate about honeymoons because I feel like it offers the couple this real experiential intimacy and this novelty in their adventure together. And I think that is also very, very important for the actual foundation of the marriage itself. Considering that weddings can be very, very tiresome and the one day comes and it's just such a high, there is that needing to just build a system of rest and a celebration of love that is purely and simply for the couple alone to really deep, like, raw, like we actually married, like, just to take that time in, that I think it's so important. So honeymoons are to be booked early, and it just gives the couple something to anticipate in the preparation period, especially at the points in which you're thinking, why did I even bother with this whole wedding thing? Why didn't I just go to the court? Why didn't I just do a registry? Because that time will come. Prioritize the marriage. It's so important to prioritize the marriage. Now, when it actually comes to the wedding planning process, you and your partner, you and your fiance need to sit down and assess what are our priorities, what are our non negotiables. All this hoo ha and this type of visibility that has come as a result of social media and everybody replicating the same experience and it being really, really expensive. As a couple, be honest with yourself. What do we want on our day? We don't have to do what everybody else is doing. What do we actually want our wedding experience to be like, to look like? That's what is important. Remember, you are curating an experience for other people to enjoy. You guys are in control of what that experience offers. And it doesn't have to follow the status quo of people coming in and dancing really aggressive, and it could be completely out of the norm. As long as this is what you guys both desire for yourself, what are your non-negotiables? For us, we knew that we wanted our wedding to take place in a church. That was a non-negotiable. We knew that we wanted to have personal vows. That was a non-negotiable. So when we are prioritizing things and we are setting things out, we know that, okay, this is what is really important to us, and this is like whatever. Like we're not too fussed if this happens or this doesn't happen. So set those priorities and get them straight. Then be very, very realistic with your budget. As I've mentioned earlier, the wedding industry is extremely expensive. Everything is overpriced. And so that being the case, especially in this cost of living crisis, be very clear on what your budget is, what you're willing to spend on this experience without having to break the bank or go into unnecessary debt for. And then be as strategic as possible with how you actually set out what you want to spend more money on, what you don't want to spend too much money on, and bear in mind that whatever you pay for, that's also what you get a lot of the times. So if you're cutting it really, really cheap, the quality may not be the same, but if it's not a huge issue for both of you, so be it. This is the opportunity for you and your partner to walk as a united front. You are beginning your journey as one. Learn the language of we. Learn the term we. This is what we are doing. This is what we are doing. This is what we are spending our money on. This is how we would like this to be done. I think when it comes to family and friends, there is a huge importance in presenting a united front. Remember, family love you both, but they love their daughter, they love their son more, and they're on a journey into loving into the other home. And if you're not careful and you come and you complain and you say, well, he's not doing this, and oh, she's not doing this, and oh, I really wanted that, and this is where the opinions of other people can come into play. And there can be that disrespect to your other half because you are not presenting your decisions as a united front. As well, this is a journey where, we're leaving to cleave. We are leaving to cleave. And in the process of leaving to cleave, some people are still trying to catch up with the fact that actually their son is moving on, their daughter is moving on, they are actually leaving us now. And this is an opportunity in the wedding planning process to help speed up that process, to help shape those boundaries. And the way in which we go about that is to say, well, this is what we are doing. When mother-in-law or whether father-in-law or whether your mom or whether your dad is like, well, in our culture we have to do this, or I want this to be done, or I want this to be done, that's in consideration usually of themselves or their own child, and completely disconnected from the partner that their child is with. So when you provide them, and again, it's not that people are being malicious all the time. Sometimes it just is a gentle reminder. Well, Mum, this is what we are doing. This is what we've decided. You're an adult. You are setting your precedent going forward. You do not have to lose friends in the wedding planning process. All this, oh, I lost all my friends, and you do not have to lose people in the wedding planning process. We just need to be clear and be setting reasonable expectations and sensible expectations on our friendships. When we decide to make someone our bridesmaid, our groomsmen, we need to offer them the opportunity to make an informed decision about what we require of them in this experience. And as brides, when we are making these propositions of what we require, we need to observe whether it's appropriate for the individual that we have selected. And I find that many a times the issue in the wedding planning process is that people are being disingenuous and they are not actually selecting true friends. They are holding stronger onto an aesthetic more than they are to the people that they want to be around them. Sometimes in this journey called life, people aren't as intentional with their friendships until they need them. And then you've placed an expectation on a friendship that does not have that foundation, that does not have that bandwidth, that does not have that level of strength. You've placed this heavy duty and responsibility. Being a bridesmaid, it's a serious responsibility. With all these expectations, but you don't have the actual friendship or foundation to hold on to it. And also sometimes you do. You call on family, you call on friends, and depending on where they are in life, we all have the right to honor where we are in life. I do not have the capacity. Sometimes people just generally do not have the capacity to show up for you in the way that you require, and you have to offer them that opportunity to make an informed decision as an adult whether this is appropriate to start this journey with you. Because if you know you can't, then don't. I would say as a bridesmaid, then don't come on board. Let me give you a couple of things to put before your bridesmaids. What is the approximate cost of being your bridesmaid? Because some brides want to have a destination wedding, want to have a destination hen, want to have a bridal shower as well, want a bridesmaid to pay for their dress, their shoes, their makeup, their hair. And they think that they may be the only bride that this bridesmaids is a part of, or they forget that their bridesmaids have lives as well, and there are things going on in their life. Could be their bridesmaids in the midst of buying their own property. There's a lot that is going on with people's financial situations at present, and we have to be honest that being a bridesmaid is a real investment. So what is the approximate cost? Try and be as accurate as possible. Break down every single thing. Do you require 6 a.m. prayer meetings? I say this because it's a real request for some Christian brides. They want you to pray alongside them. They have specific prayer meetings. If that is a requirement, lay it down. Rehearsals and fittings. Approximately how many rehearsals would we have? Do you need us to learn a routine? How often will the bridesmaids have to meet? We have to honor where people are. And when we are honest with what we are asking of them, considering that even in the West African culture, it's not only a white wedding or a church wedding experience. Many a times we have traditionals as well, and they're having to do the same thing: get a kente, get it sewn, have their hair done a certain way, learn a routine. There's a whole lot to that whole experience, and that of which is desired and required from the bride in conjunction to the church wedding as well. People need to be honest, because when there is honesty, then we are able to communicate effectively and allow people to make an honest decision of what they are actually capable of. And so we are not then placing expectations which weren't made clear. I also feel like as brides, when choosing your bridesmaids, you have to play to everybody's strength. You have to play to the people that you're working with, their strength. Secondly, I would also say that the temperature of every friendship dynamic or every relational dynamic always has to be tested anyway. I don't think the wedding experience is one where it's where we're now starting to test them, because I think sometimes, for instance, my childhood best friend, I had pinky promised her many years ago that she was going to be my maid of honor when we got married. And I held to that because when I was preparing to get married, she's still my best friend. However, you could have done that with your childhood best friend, and in this season of life, they're an acquaintance. That's the reality of the present. So, do I honor the pinky promise that I made then? She can still be part of the bridal trail, but she doesn't necessarily have to be a maid of honor if our relationship doesn't reflect that. Simple things like this can easily alleviate all the tensions that people are going through. For instance, I know sometimes traditionally people are like, oh, but your sister has to be your maid of honor. My sister wasn't my maid of honor. My sister is a chilled, laid-back woman, a woman of leisure, okay? She ain't about to be doing no up and down and stressing. Sis don't work under pressure. So I knew for a fact that was not playing to her strength if I was to put her in that position just out of tradition. I chose my best friend. My best friend, that girl, she don't play. She is very particular. She likes things on point. She deals with the pressure. She gets it done, like delivers. So I kicked her where I knew she needed to be. But then someone, oh, but she's not your blood. Okay, what? What does that do? What does that mean? Lastly, I would say enjoy the process. It is tough. It is tough. It can get tough. It can get very stressful working with different vendors, family drama, a whole lot of things. And as I said, it's high stakes for everyone. Everybody wants to support in some way, shape, or form. But at the same time, it also highlights the nature of every dynamic. It literally puts a spotlight onto what every situation actually is. And so if, for instance, you come from a very dysfunctional family, unfortunately, this is the time that the dysfunction is just going to come out in full vim. And you just have to be prepared and make your partner aware of that. Okay, this is my situation. They should already know, but let them be prepared. Fathers who have never played a role in your life want to walk you down the aisle. A whole lot of things can come into play. But enjoy the process. You only really do this once. And so you want to make memories with people. I think one of the most beautiful experiences that I had during my wedding planning process was just seeing how my family, my friends, my husband's family and his friends were